Hello, guys, and welcome back to the podcast. This is Paint the Town Dead. I am one half of your host, Caitlin.
Introduce me.
And that's my partner in crime. That's Andrew.
That's right. We do crimes, and that's what we're here to talk about. How to get away with crimes.
Yes, specifically crimes committed in Arkansas.
And what kind of crimes maximize your returns financially based on like what they cost.
Yes.
And how likely you are to get caught.
Yes.
And if you get caught, what your punishment will be and
also,
what you can deal with.
We have great recommendations for lawyers, help with that. So this is a crime podcast in the sense of we do crime.
We love it. We love doing crime.
All that's a lie. But we do like talking about crimes committed in Arkansas, and that's what we do.
It is. And
we had our first episode last week.
Where nobody died?
Where nobody died.
It's true.
People were injured.
And they did try to kill somebody very much. That police officer got shot with a shotgun to the chest, but he had a bulletproof vest, so he was okay.
Yes. And I don't know if it was our guy that we talked about last week that did the shooting.
I don't remember. I want to say one of the other guys had the shotgun.
Well, I think he had the shotgun too.
I don't remember.
I think they both had shotguns.
I mean, you're the one who covered it. You should know.
They do. They both had shotguns, but it never said it was our guy.
Okay.
I mean, actually shot him.
Probably be hard to know.
Yeah.
And it's not like they can ask him because spoilers, we haven't found him.
So yeah, that was a good episode. I like that one.
That's a very fun one. That's the one where our favorite, where the crime wins.
That's right.
Like we said, we're criminals. We do crimes. We're all about it.
What's the worst thing you've ever done? Like the most illegal thing you've ever done?
I'm not admitting to anything.
I'll tell you mine.
It's called the Fifth Amendment.
What is that?
I don't have to.
You plead the fifth. You plead the fifth. Okay,
exactly.
I'll tell you mine.
Okay.
When I was 8 years old, we were at me and my family. It was when we lived in Georgia. We were in the mountains and doing some family exploring and stuff. And there was like this nice little apple stand on the side of the road. And they had these cute little tiny apples. And I asked Mom if I could have one of those, and she said no. So I took one.
Wow.
And then we were in the car and we driven down the road, and she saw me with it. She said, "Where'd you get that?" And I said, and you just started crying.
Wow.
And so we turned around and I gave it back and I apologized, and the person let me keep it. They're like, "Thank you for being honest."
And also, this is a food product. Please, we can't take it back. It's probably a health code violation.
It's true. They're like, "Where did you put it?"
What have you done to this apple? We haven't had eyes on it. You could have done anything.
Like, "Oh, it's fine. You can just keep it. We don't want it. It's just a little apple."
It's like in food service. Like if you have like a bad sandwich come back or it's the wrong thing, it's like, well, you can't give it to anybody else. It's a health code violation.
Right.
Same with.
Well, you get that, and we'll give you another one.
Yeah. It's really, it's like, if you work at like a fast food restaurant.
Yeah.
It's not like, I brought back this chicken sandwich. You can't just be like, cool, we'll use this for a different order.
Great. I'm going to eat it myself.
That may have happened.
Did you do that?
I didn't do that, but I've seen other people do it.
That's hilarious.
Where they're like,
why not? Why not though? If the person doesn't want it, if it's wrong,
it's a health code violation.
If you're just going to throw it away, why not just you eat it yourself?
Because I don't know what they did to it.
Well,
if they did anything to it.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I heard.
You were never Serve Safe certified. I was.
I was not. I did hear, I saw a video on the TikTok that Chick-fil-A just throws away all their food at the end of the night.
Also, all restaurants, basically, if it's stuff you can't keep, yeah.
There was like chicken nuggies.
Yeah, you can't keep those. They don't keep. What are you going to do with them?
You heat them. You heat
and
them
serve
up?
them to customers?
Yeah.
If I went to a Chick-fil-A and they gave me reheated chicken nuggets from the night before, I would be furious. I'm not paying 10 something for a chicken nugget meal to get some reheated garbage. Also, fried foods do not keep very well.
Okay, well, what about isn't Chick-fil-A a Christian restaurant?
I don't know.
Why do they not donate the food at the end of the day to the people that need it?
Because they're donating it to
the garbage can.
They're donating it to the people who are trying to stop gay people from existing. That's what they're doing with it. No, like any business, you don't keep stuff. Like they used to keep the nuggets for making chicken salad, but they don't do chicken salad anymore.
Oh, okay.
So there's that.
Well, I liked the chicken salad. Why did they get rid of it?
I guess it didn't sell well enough. I thought it was fine.
I liked it.
It was I ate there almost every day when I was working there, so I would try it just to have something different. It was fine.
I don't know why this got into a product placement for Chick-fil-A, but have you tried the new lemon kale salad that they've advertised?
No.
Lemon Caesar kale something salad.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Have not.
I saw a TikTok again about it, and the guy was like, I don't really like healthy foods, and this is really good.
It sounds pretty good. They have, they've also had like a kale cranberry or something salad.
Yeah.
I forget what it's called. That was introduced when I was like still there. My sister once made kale chips, like kale and like baked them in the oven.
Yeah.
It smelled like farts.
Yeah, I bet it did.
Yeah.
It tastes like farts.
I don't know. I didn't try it.
Have you tried seaweed, dried seaweed?
Yeah, I have. It was.
Don't like it.
I'm not gonna go out of my way, but if somebody's like, this is the only food you get.
Was that one of the snacks that we tried?
No, I don't think so. But we had stuff that was like seaweed adjacent.
I don't mind it in something, but I don't want a straight up dried seaweed.
Yeah, like I'll eat a miso soup. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
I ate some miso soup the other day from a packet. It was fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just like a little packet, and you put some boiling water in it.
So it's kind of like ramen?
Kind of, but easier and different because it's not noodles.
I'll say there's no noodles.
It's just like the broth, tofu, and a little bit of seaweed in there.
I'm down with that.
Yeah, it was totally fine. So let's get to the subject of this show.
Which is not miso soup.
Unfortunately, no.
Or Chick-fil-A or TikTok.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, we talk about bad things, but I mean...
We do.
TikTok would qualify. We could do a show on how bad TikTok is and how it is leading to the destruction of humanity. Just kidding. It's called Facebook.
Yeah, that's more accurate.
Either one. They're both doing it.
Whatever.
So we're going to go to Arkadelphia, Arkansas.
I've been there. That's where the Ouachita is, isn't it?
Yeah, Ouachita Baptist and Henderson State. The big rivalry.
I say Ouachita because you wouldn't guess it, but Ouachita is spelled Ouachita.
Yeah, my favorite thing is hearing like national football broadcasters have to like pronounce it because like...
They don't know what to do with it.
I'm trying to remember who it was. There was a coach. I think it was Neil Brown. He played or coached at Ouachita Baptist when he was younger. He's currently the coach at West Virginia. And I remember being impressed with one of the announcers because usually they're like Ouachita Baptist. And this guy was like Ouachita Baptist. I was like, that's not too far off.
You're pretty close.
You got a lot closer than I would have expected for anybody outside of the state.
And it's kind of like that one coach. His name looks like it's spelled
Krzyzewski.
It's spelled Krzyzewski.
Yeah. Fun fact, going back to Chick-fil-A.
Oh no.
We did like local ad up in Jonesboro because that's the one I worked at. And the marketing lady who worked there, she did like the local ad, and it was based on like NCAA March Madness because Coach K Krzyzewski there he is currently still the coach at Duke, one of the premier basketball schools.
Yeah.
And she was like reading his name, and I guess nobody told her, and she was like, and Coach Mike Krzyzewski. I was like, oh no, that's on an advertisement that people are going to hear.
And they're like, who's Coach Krzyzewski?
I mean, everybody knows. If you're a basketball fan, you know. And you're just like, oh no, nobody told her.
Ooh, she doesn't do the sports.
Yeah, I guess not. But
of course I don't either. And I just, you're the one who like was like, I was like, Krzyzewski, like, that's Krzyzewski. And I was like,
yeah.
What?
Eastern European weird names.
But he's not.
His family is, I guess.
Yeah, family, but
he's retiring after this next season, apparently.
About time.
I agree.
He enjoys.
They should hire. They're hiring like an assistant, but I think they should hire Arkansas's coach
to be him.
To be the Duke head coach.
Why?
Because the Arkansas head coach is good, and I don't like Arkansas.
There you go, and there we have the prejudice just laid forth.
Yeah.
Anyways,
that's why I'm also like, Chad Morris is the best football coach ever.
Who's Chad Morris?
He was the football coach at Arkansas when they were at their worst.
And you're like,
it was hilarious.
Bring him back.
He should have gotten 5 years. 2 years is not enough. He was just working on his system.
That's right.
But anyway, we've gotten sidetracked so bad.
Back to the story.
We're going to Arkadelphia, home of two universities, Ouachita Baptist and Henderson State.
Ouachita.
Henderson State is part of the Arkansas State University system now.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. It sure is.
Yeah, apparently they weren't running things very well.
Well, it's okay. ASU will help them.
That's right. A-State's here to save the day, baby.
Red Wolves.
Ow! Anyway, so we're going to be talking about Dominic Whitaker and Kayla Nelson to start with.
Do I know this one?
You probably don't.
Okay.
Let's find out.
Okay.
You can yell at me if you do.
Okay.
When you figure out that you know it, just go, I know this one.
I know it.
I bet you don't, though.
Okay.
So they were high school sweethearts in the early 2000s. They were stars of their basketball teams. The girls and boys, they weren't on the same team. It was a girl and a boy.
But yeah. Okay. Thank you.
I'm just letting you know.
Appreciate
just
that.
letting you know. I don't want any confusion.
Appreciate it.
And they were like inseparable.
Oh.
You know how high school people are.
That's sweet.
Oh my goodness, holding hands and all that.
Love.
I guess I don't know. I didn't have a high school girlfriend.
You think you're in love, but
I know
really
for real.
You're not.
You're just too young to realize like, this doesn't actually matter that much.
You're infatuated. That's what
that's probably a better word for it. Because
infatuated.
I didn't have a high school girlfriend. I had one like right after high school, and it's like I had crushes on girls. It was like, this is the only thing that matters. It's like, no, actually,
it's not.
It doesn't matter. You're just too young to realize how much it doesn't matter.
That's true.
The world, things are bigger than this.
100%.
But yeah, their senior year of high school, because they're dating, they're high school sweethearts.
Yep.
Senior year of high school, Kayla gets pregnant. Oh no!
That happens.
Don't do that.
That's what happens.
That's probably why I watched an episode of a show called Snapped.
Mm-hmm.
It's on Oxygen.
Yep.
I got ads for this like birth control. I don't know if this is a coincidence and it has to do with this episode. They're like, get birth control.
Yeah.
Or Oxygen is a channel aimed at women, or at least historically has been.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So maybe it's just that, but I thought it was funny.
Probably the latter.
So she gets pregnant, and she was very good at school, though. She still maintained a 4.0 GPA while pregnant.
That's awesome.
Guess what I didn't do while being incapable of being pregnant? A 4.0. Didn't even come close. Not even close.
She's a rock star.
Yeah, I didn't even get pregnant. I wasn't a basketball star. I didn't do nothing.
They were. You said they were basketball stars.
Yeah.
And maintaining 4.0 while being pregnant. She's pretty awesome.
That's right. I didn't hear the stats for her basketball team, but she was like the main one and was potentially looking at going to college and playing ball. I don't know if she was necessarily going to go D1, but like still
great.
D3 NAIA, that's still better than 99% of the world. So
yeah.
And also being 4.0
while doing that.
Yeah.
And you're pregnant. That's awesome.
You can go to college wherever.
Good for her.
So in 2001, they welcomed their daughter, a baby girl, which is what a daughter is.
That's true. Uh-huh.
Check that out. Words.
What was her name?
Don't know. Also not important for the story.
Oh, okay.
I never saw it listed in anything.
Okay.
And, a child.
Okay. That's good enough for me.
Kayla and Dominic, they move in together for a while, but eventually they move back to their own parents' homes.
Separately?
Yes.
Oh.
They talk about financial strain being the issue here.
I could see that, man. Fresh out of high school, that's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, like I don't have that much responsibility, and I've been out of high school for like 2 years.
Plus some.
You're right, 4 years. I'm 22, I think, is what I lied about earlier in an episode.
That's
I don't
right.
remember.
That's right. Plus 10.
I'm 22. How dare you? That's pretty close, actually. They end up having a second daughter.
Oh, okay.
Stop having daughters or sons. Stop having kids.
I was going to say, what's wrong with daughters? I was one. I am.
And look how that turned out.
Such a disappointment.
I know. I feel you. That's why you can also say the same thing. Don't have sons, and you look at me. It's like
true.
It could be Andrew.
Andrew stances don't have kids.
Yeah. At least try not to.
Yeah.
Clearly they need to try harder.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's a kid only adds to financial strain. Let me tell you.
Ain't that the truth? They are too expensive, and that's a podcast for a different time, I guess.
Yeah, okay.
To explain how horrible and how messed up the whole situation is with childcare and medical expenses and all that stuff.
That's another podcast.
That's for people who. That's for a different subject podcast and people who are smarter than me who can deal with numbers and things.
Not
us.
It's true. Remember, we're not mathematicians.
That's right. 5/4 of the time we talk about math, whatever stupid thing we said.
That was amazing.
Yeah, that was very funny.
That was the best tweet we've ever had.
So things start to turn around a little bit for financially. In 2010, Kayla becomes the manager at a local restaurant called Andy's, not the ice cream place.
Oh, okay. Got
or
really
custard, I guess, whatever.
Yeah.
And I guess she was doing pretty well. Like, she starts working on building a house.
Wow.
With this new money she's got.
Her. With Dominique?
Not necessarily.
Oh, okay.
He's still living with his mom, and she's living with her parents as she's building this house, all that stuff. On July 9th, 2010, at 7:30 a.m., Mary Whitaker, who is Dominique's mother,
okay,
she calls 911 saying she hasn't seen her son since the 4th of July, so 5 days.
Wow, that took a long time.
Yeah, and so the way it's described, it sounds like he would spend time away, like hanging out with Kayla or whatever.
Okay.
And he was also pretty introverted, like he was kind of shy.
So they maybe didn't talk every day.
So him and his mom talked every day, which is what was weird about it. She couldn't contact him, but like, say his sister, not necessarily going to talk to her every day,
okay, or
even his friends or whatever. But, you know, he wasn't necessarily at the house all the time.
Okay.
He might be hanging out with Kayla or something. So, yeah, it's not totally unusual for him to be out of contact with other people, but his mom he talked to every single day. So that's actually kind of weird.
I wonder, still, that's quite a few days. My mom would, I don't know. I talk to her every day. It'd be like one day she can't get a hold of me. She's going to be freaking out.
Yeah, I think that would be the case.
5 days is a lot.
Yeah. So the officer goes to the Whitaker home, talks to the mother, Mary, there. They go to Dominique's room. I keep wanting to say Dominic. It's Dominique.
Dominique, okay.
Yeah. Dominique is how they kept saying it.
Oh, okay.
You know, just kind of like, let's look at his room. Let's find some clues.
Right.
They call Kayla over to the house and have her kind of look around, see if maybe there's something missing. So, like, maybe he's, like, taking some things and he's bugged off somewhere for some reason.
Yeah.
Or he's robbed or something, you know.
Yeah.
She says she hasn't seen him since the 4th as well. She after the 4th, she went to a church camp. Like, she was like watching over the kiddos there.
Gotcha. So did Dominique and Kayla talk every day then?
She says she hadn't caught up to him since she had returned because she was busy at the restaurant.
Okay, but she had
been at that camp.
Okay.
So she's
not unusual.
Yeah, nothing crazy here so far.
Okay.
And they ask her if anything might be missing from his room, like, does anything look out of sorts? Because she would have spent time in his room.
Yeah.
You know, because they were parents.
Of course.
And all that.
They were together.
She points out a few items. She's like, there's a pair of shoes that seems like it should be here, a piece of jewelry, and a belt, but like not much else.
Okay. So stuff he was probably wearing.
Potentially, yeah, actually.
Okay.
But you know, he's not known for just like running off and not telling people where he's going.
Okay.
That's not a thing he's known for.
All right.
It's not like me, where I'm like, I'm going to go do a thing and not tell anybody.
So good luck, everybody, finding me if I'm dead.
Well, the good thing is I don't go hiking or anything.
That's
true. I'm not going to be out in nature, so it's not like...
If you were, you'd be with people, I think.
Definitely, because I'm paranoid. I need somebody I can trip so the bear can catch them instead of me.
Right. Of course.
Yeah, I would be somewhere in like a city. Somebody would find me and go, oh no,
you're a dude.
a bad thing happened. Yeah, nobody's going to be like, he's been missing for years. We can't find him because he went hiking and animals carried him off. Like, that's not going to happen to me.
Yeah.
Most likely. So Dominique, he has like a lot of hair on his head, a lot of head hair.
Okay.
You know, just like me. And his mother would like braid it for him.
Oh, okay.
Or however you do it. Mm-hmm. And put braids in it and put beads in.
Okay.
Like blue beads. So that's like, okay, that's a physical characteristic. We can go. He's got braided hair with blue beads in it. Mm-hmm. And investigators, they're trying to figure out where he is. They subpoena his phone records because that's a thing you can do if you're police. They don't find anything useful though, like, because, you know, you look at the phone records, it's like, okay, we know he called this person or they called him, and they can also figure out your location, as we saw in the Cassie Cotta case.
Yeah. That's
how they solved that murder.
Yeah.
They look at his bank records, see if he made like any weird withdrawals or anything. But he really doesn't have that much money. He's like and also he hadn't been seen by his employer since the 4th, which is also not like him to miss work.
He's been gone since the 4th.
Yeah, and he also wouldn't have much money. Like maybe they talked about like he might have like $300 on him.
Wow.
That's not enough to go
gallivanting around.
Yeah, you can't be like, it's not like the dude last week, Larry Porter Chisholm, whichever direction it was. Porter Chisholm. Larry Porter Chisholm. What was the other name we liked? Be cute or whatever. Be pretty. I don't remember what it was.
William.
It's like Charlie B. Cutie. I don't remember what it was.
Charles B. Purdy.
There it is. Yeah. That guy, he robbed a bank and got basically the equivalent of today's $900,000.
Yeah.
This guy has $300 in 2010.
Yeah,
that ain't the same thing.
It's not gonna get you very far.
You ain't doing nothing with that.
Nope.
So they're like, something has probably happened.
Yeah.
Because he's not run off. This isn't something he did on his own.
Right.
And they talked to Dominique's friends. They're like, what does he do? Where does he go? Where does he hang out? And they're like, he's kind of shy. He doesn't really go places. He doesn't go hang out. He's not like, I'm going to the club.
Yeah.
Not like me. I go to the club.
All the time.
That's right. Caitlin's not being sarcastic. Stop that, Caitlin. Yeah. I'm trying to build a brand here.
So cool.
I'm a party boy.
Totally.
That's what I'm known for. Actually, I wrote in here, I feel that. that was a note I wrote.
Yeah.
Also, they even like subpoenaed like his video game records. So like his online status and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And like
how bizarre.
Yeah, I'm glad they can do this so I can have an alibi if there's ever a murder I'm suspected of. I can be like, look at this. I was here getting my butt beat in Rocket League or whatever.
Right.
But they like tracked down like some of his online friends from the video games.
Uh-huh.
And they're like, yeah, we haven't seen him on here either for a while. And that's weird. And it doesn't seem like he's contacted them in real life or anything. So they're like, well, that's another dead end.
Here's a fun thing. We always, when we talk about money, you said he had about $300 on him.
Yeah.
Just from 2010 to 2021, 11 years. If he had 300, it would be $370 now.
Still not a lot.
But still, it's inflation. That just shows you like even 11 years.
Yeah.
$300 would be worth almost $400 now.
Yeah. That's one of those issues with like minimum wage isn't like
keeping up.
It doesn't keep up with
not even
inflation.
Close. Yeah, not even close.
But yeah, so like
anyways,
he doesn't have any money. They also talking to his friends being like, is he involved in like
drugs,
crimes and stuff?
Yeah.
And they're like, no, probably not. As far as we know, I guess.
He's just a dude hanging out.
He's a dude who hangs out and plays video games.
And goes to work and comes home.
Yeah, he has like not a lot of money. He doesn't even have like his own car. He borrows his mom's car.
Okay.
In this situation.
So I mean, he is just like a homebody.
Yes. I think they literally use that word.
I'm so good.
So July 15th, we come to Dallas County, Arkansas, which is, it borders Clark County to the east. Clark County is where Arkadelphia is.
Okay.
So it's the county over. Just one county over.
Okay.
Fun fact, fourth least populous county in the state of Arkansas.
I was going to say, I've never heard of this county.
Have you heard of the town of Fordyce?
I have.
Yeah, it's in Dallas County.
Okay.
I believe their high school teams are like the Red Bugs or something. That's the only reason I've heard of them.
Ew.
Yeah. Not bed bugs, just red bugs. Like ladybugs. Huh. Adorable. A timber worker is surveying an area out there. Timber work is like a big deal in southern Arkansas. Mm-hmm. So, I think UA Monticello has like a big lumber program of some sort or something. I forget what it's called, but it's like learn how to deal with lumber and stuff.
A degree? Yeah,
something like that. Forestry, I think, is the term I'm looking for.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, if you go down the big old pine trees and such.
Okay.
You chop them down and make a table out of them.
There you go.
And he's walking around outside looking for trees to cut down or whatever. I don't know what a timber worker does. Maybe he's like just surveying the area. In fact, it says surveying the area on my notes here. So I guess he's like, let's see what trees we're going to chop down and what our plans are, what we're going to do. And he smells something.
That's not good.
No, it's never good.
Unless it's the smell of something good cooking, but I doubt it is.
Yeah, if there's one sense I could do without its smell, I'd be fine. If I had to pick one, I guess. So it's described as an overpowering odor.
That's not a good sign.
And he looks around and eventually finds the source of the odor and finds what he believes to be human remains. So he calls the sheriff's office.
Oh, man.
They arrive. They find skeletal remains.
Skeletal?
Yeah.
After just...
He's only been missing 11 days, yeah. But they find blue beads in there.
Oh.
And they are taken to Little Rock, the one true city.
Yeah.
Through DNA, they are able to positively identify them as the remains of Dominic Whitaker.
Oh.
He was only 27.
So young. He had 2 kids.
Yes. And they are also able to determine that the body had been burned. There were char marks.
So that's why it was already skeletal.
That's right. And they look around. There's no evidence of any burning in that area. So he had been killed and burned somewhere else. And despite being skeletal at this point, they are able to determine that he died of a gunshot wound to the back.
Oh, like is it maybe hit a rib or something?
I believe they said spine.
Oh, wow.
So, and they believed like his back was to the shooter based on the way they were looking at it.
Yeah.
It was 9mm handgun that would have done it. So yeah, but yeah, there's still like, who would have done this and why?
Because he's such a homebody.
He's a homebody. Yeah, it's like if somebody killed me, it'd be like, why?
Yeah, but for real though, like you don't have any enemies unless it's somebody you're smack talking online.
Like yeah. And then you can just look at the Facebook records and you'll find out like, oh, it's probably that person.
This person messaged us.
This person who thinks they're being microchipped by vaccines or whatever.
Ooh.
So July 19th, 7 p.m., the police receive a call from Kayla.
From Kayla?
Yeah. She says that there were notes taped to her door.
To what door?
Like at her house, the one she's building.
Did she not notice before that?
These just got there.
Oh.
These are new.
Oh, new. Okay.
So investigators, they go to her house. It's just some notes written in red marker, like block lettering on just like standard old printer paper. Mm-hmm. And it's threats.
Why would anybody be threatening her?
It says, the notes say that they killed Dominique.
Okay.
And said, we killed your boyfriend over our queen and drug money.
Over our queen?
Yeah.
And drug money?
Yeah. What does that mean?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Maybe we'll find out.
Okay.
And it also said Bloods with a Z for life.
It sounds like somebody's making some crap up. That's what it sounds like.
You wouldn't write Bloods with a Z?
It sounds like somebody's trying really hard to do something, and I don't know why.
If you say so.
I do.
There's no signs of forced entry, just the notes. They were taped on the door.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Is that her new house? She hasn't moved in
yet? Yes, it is at the new house. I believe she was living there mostly, but yeah. This is at the new house.
Okay.
There's no forced entry, just the letters taped on the outside. The police are looking around. They find some cigarette butts. So they're like, oh, maybe we can get some DNA.
Yeah.
Let's go. In the meantime, while they're waiting on that, they tell Kayla to be careful because that seems like a bad time to be threatened.
Yeah.
But it's also, the police are like, this is a little weird. Like, gang activity isn't totally unheard of in Arkadelphia, but it's not common.
Yeah.
It ain't Little Rock.
Yeah.
Nobody's making a documentary called Bangin' in Arkadelphia. That's not a documentary. That doesn't exist.
Is there another one, Bangin' in something else?
Bangin' in Little Rock.
Is that for real?
Yeah, it's a famous documentary about 90s gang stuff in Little Rock.
I had no idea.
Yeah. But yeah, it's not normal. And leaving letters like this as gangs, pretty atypical as well. Which, I mean, gangs are fractured and they'll do what they do.
Right.
They're not all the same, but that's also a weird thing to do.
Very.
But the police are like, this seems like somebody's trying to throw us off in some way, some form or fashion.
Yeah.
And then another letter shows up at the restaurant that Kayla works at. And it says that she'll be next if she doesn't know what's good for her.
What do they even what is she doing? I don't understand the threat.
It's a good question.
Okay.
Again, they're kind of dubious on this. Like, this is a little weird.
That is
very makes sense.
No, there's no motive, I guess you could say.
It just seems like somebody's trying to redirect where the investigation might go.
Yes.
And
yes, that one.
You know, because like as far as they can tell, Dominique's not a gang man. He ain't out there gang banging.
It's just a normal dude.
He's like a very boring dude, to be honest. I don't mean that with any offense.
Honestly, he sounds like you. Go to work, come home, hang out with fam, and play video games.
What if Andrew, but with children for some reason?
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, you don't have children.
But yeah, it does like, he's just like, he doesn't go out and get into trouble or anything. He's not partying. He's not going to the club. He's not getting into fights. He's not doing crimes.
Oh.
He's not hanging out with a gang or whatever. Like, that's not him. So they get that DNA back, and it belongs to some construction workers working on her house.
I thought it might be.
Working on Kayla's house, just some construction guys, and, you know, they look into it. There's nothing there as far as they can tell.
All
so,
right.
you know.
Yeah, no.
Hitting them dead ends, as investigations do sometimes. Sometimes solving puzzles takes a while. Attention, they kind of shift it towards re-examining like what Dominic was doing, what he was up to, his relationships with people. Turns out things weren't always great between him and Kayla.
Okay.
They actually broke up in 2004.
After their first kid?
Yes.
Okay.
They broke up, and while on that break, Dominique started seeing a woman named Yolanda.
Oh, who did?
Dominique did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they were together for like 6 months, and then Dominique and Kayla get back together. Later, Yolanda finds out she's pregnant.
With Dominique's kid?
With Dominique's kid. So she has the kid, and this is a weird thing to me. She says she doesn't have his phone number. Arkadelphia is a small place. You can figure this stuff out. And he also doesn't have any social media, so she can't like find him on Facebook to tell him he's got a child. So I know, right?
Okay.
And she didn't find him again until her child was 4 years old.
I'm sorry, what?
I know. It seems wrong, right?
It's Arkadelphia.
Yeah, like, was she from a different place, far away, or did he went there? Like, I don't understand how this took so long. But she ends up figuring out where he is and all that, and reaches out and is like, "Hey, you've got a kid. You've got another daughter over here."
Another daughter.
Yeah, it's another daughter.
Okay.
And so they're gonna meet up at some point, so he can meet this new child.
Okay.
And on July 28th, and also he never meets the child. They never actually, as far as we know up to this point, they never officially met again.
Okay.
So, July 28th, the police bring Kayla in for an interview. And they're talking to her, and suddenly she knows some things. She went from knowing nothing about what happened to suddenly having knowledge of what happened on July the 4th. She gets off work at 2 o'clock that day. She gets some food with Dominique and drives him home. Again, he doesn't have a car of his own.
Okay. She
goes back to her house that she's building. Dominique later comes back, and Kayla's there with a man. This is around 11 p.m.
At her new house?
That's right. A man named Jarrell Yarber. He's like 24 at this point, and she's 27. Dominique becomes angry, and him and Jarrell have a fight. Jarrell goes to the trunk of his car, pulls out a gun. Dominique tries to run away, and Jarrell shoots him in the back.
Well, that's consistent with what they found.
Yeah, and it's also like it's pretty suspicious that all of this is only coming out now. But I mean, it's also because if she didn't do it, why didn't she just say like it was this guy Jarrell?
Why didn't you just come forward and be like,
"Yeah,
oh my gosh, this guy that I'm dating killed this guy, my baby."
Yeah, I saw this happen, and it wasn't me. Okay, well, why don't you tell us that? That seems like a thing you should tell.
Let's start with that. Let's not get there a month later.
Right. So they bring in Jarrell for an interview, and they're like, "Hey,
you want to talk to us?"
Yeah, guess what Kayla told us? She says you shot that guy in the back. Pretty messed up.
What did he say?
He says, "I didn't do that."
Of course he does.
He does say
Kayla did it.
On July 10th, he received a call from Kayla asking him to come and help her. So he goes over there and he's like, I'll see what you want. And he gets there. He finds Dominique's body burned. And Kayla says
they live out? Is this house out in the country?
I mean, it's Arkadelphia. Yeah, kind of.
Because I mean, like, burning body, pretty stinky smell.
Yeah, I know, right? Arkadelphia is a pretty small area for the most part. You know.
Weird.
She says that she tells Jarrell that she and Dominic had a fight, and then she accidentally shot him, in the back.
In the back.
As you do. So Jarrell helped place Dominic's remains in a plastic tub, like one of those big Rubbermaid ones, and they drive a few miles away and dump his body.
Wow.
Jarrell is charged with abuse of a corpse and hindering an investigation. So they bring Kayla back in.
Does she own a gun?
Apparently.
Okay.
Because she admits that she got into a heated argument with Dominic and shot him. She claims it's self-defense. Again,
you don't shoot somebody in the back in self-defense.
That's right. That by law, that is no longer self-defense.
That's not self-defense.
If they are fleeing, you can't shoot them in the back.
That is correct.
That is the law.
We know this because we are lawyers.
That's right. But don't officially, none of this is legal advice.
Don't quote us on anything.
And we're also not lawyers. I don't know if that's legal for us to say as a joke, even. We are actors, so it counts. It's fine.
That's right. Disclaimer, we're not lawyers.
We're not experts of anything.
On anything.
She claims it's self-defense and says that Dominic had been beating her for years.
Okay.
But she never brought that up before to anybody. And seemingly there's no evidence of it as far as they can tell. So,
unlikely.
And obviously she panicked after killing him and started trying to work to cover up the killing. She burns his body and then goes off to this church camp. She actually went to it. That's a real thing.
And then left the body where?
At her house.
In the backyard?
Burned, yeah.
Wait, wasn't there construction happening on it?
Yeah, but maybe they weren't there for that at that point. I don't know.
What? That's a dangerous game, just to leave a burned body at your house.
I mean, she probably put it somewhere. I don't know. And she probably didn't want to have the construction people there when she's gone. Perhaps.
Well, I mean, but they're building your house. They have to be there.
I don't know, Caitlin.
Answer my questions.
I did my best.
Okay.
When she gets back from the church camp, she calls Jarrell, asks him to help hide the body. She admits to forging those gang letters, those very silly ones.
Bloods forever.
Bloods for life.
Yeah, that's not. That's not.
For life. For life.
Bloods.
Yeah.
For life. Yeah, seems a little bit forced. And I bet the police officers like it's not. This is not real.
They were very suspicious of it the whole time.
But yeah, not exactly a crime, like a gang riddled area.
No, exactly. And even if it was, gangs don't do that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very silly.
Yes.
She is charged with first-degree murder and abuse of a corpse. Again, nobody else really seems to corroborate the domestic abuse claims for the most part.
Yeah.
So, yeah. She pleads guilty, gets 31 years. She is eligible for parole in 2029, which is not a real year. We'll all be dead by then. Don't worry about it.
2029?
That's right. And
wait,
that's when she's eligible for parole.
Isn't that in 8 years?
It is in 8 years.
You said that's not a real year. We'll all be dead.
Yeah.
In 8 years?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I hope not.
Nuclear holocaust or climate change. We'll all be dead. Don't worry about it.
And inflation will have gone up another $70.
Well, the market will crash, so they'll be fine.
Okay.
I don't know. It doesn't feel like a real year. Jarrell, for his part, he gets 490 days in prison with 18 years of probation.
That's a lot of probation.
Yeah. It's kind of, we never get a real answer for the motive. But
just that they fought.
They fought and she shot him in the back.
Did it have anything to do with Yolanda at all?
Potentially. That's why it's because they just found out about that.
Oh, okay.
So maybe she found out and she was mad about that. Or even one of the options is maybe she's resentful to him and has been for years because remember she had a 4.0 GPA. She never goes to college because she's taking care of these kids.
It's true.
And she's like, you done put babies in me and I can't do anything now.
But I mean, it takes two to tango.
That's right. Use protection.
Yeah.
Use all of the protection.
Oh, I just hit my elbow. Continue. Use protection.
Wear elbow pads.
Yes, all the time.
Wear your elbow pads and a helmet at all times. So yeah, most of this comes from season 27, episode 8 of a show called Snapped on Oxygen.
I know Snapped.
Yeah. The episode title is Kayla Nelson, so they kind of spoiled it there. There's no mystery of who did it, who done it, who snapped.
It was her.
Let's find out.
It was Kayla Nelson.
It's Kayla Nelson.
Oh, we got it. Okay.
I wanted to point out that the guy in the reenactments who plays the detective, he looks like Butch Jones, who is the head football coach at Arkansas State now. He's got
Butch Jones?
He's got like a widow's peak and crew cut or whatever. Like very like that's a guy. If I were to make up a guy who is the football coach of a team in 1950s America, it is that man.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, it's very much like that is a football man. If I ever saw one. That's a football man who just finished serving in Korea or something like that. That's what he looks like.
That's a man who knows football.
That's right.
In 1950s America.
So that's how that's just something I noticed.
Okay.
They have the actual detective on there, but he doesn't.
What's his name?
Jason something.
Thank you, Jason something.
Yeah, he's the one who solved this, I guess. Yeah, so that's where most of this comes from.
Okay.
They did the hard work.
You just.
I watched it and read some articles, but the TV show had most of the information, to be honest.
That's good.
Yeah, made my life easier.
I don't think this one was on our list.
Yeah, it's been on the list for a while.
It was?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's been on it for a while. I actually just marked it green. I made sure to remember.
Oh, okay. Good job.
Also, I thought about this when I was writing this and all this. Just how dumb the like people are that are like they're gonna put the COVID vaccine and use it to track me. It's like, hey man, you're using a phone that's always tracking you.
Yeah.
And you're not important enough to track. Those are like the kind of two joke answers, but they're sort of real. But just if you just look at this case, they looked at his phone records to find out. They could see where he's been, who he's talked to, how long he's talked to them, who he's texted, who has texted him, who has called him, all that stuff. And there's location data and like even like Facebook.
Yeah.
There was big controversy a few years ago, specifically on Android. Like Facebook data got like surfaced of like what they were tracking. And it was like, they know, oh, you were at Walmart. You were at Walmart for this long. And then you went to this other place and you were there for this long. And like,
it's too specific.
Yeah, it knows all that stuff. And yet these like weirdos are like, but the government needs a COVID vaccine to track me. They do not. They also know your address. They also know what kind of car you drive, what your license plate is. They have your picture.
Social security number.
They have your social security number.
They gave you your social security
They know what color eyes you have. They know how tall you are.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all information you have to like volunteer basically to participate in society. They have your bank records. They can look at that. They looked at Dominique's bank records.
They have your tax information. They give you your tax information.
Yeah, like the only option you have is to go live out in a shack in Montana like Ted Kaczynski or something.
That's true. It was pretty off the grid.
And
but
guess
please
what?
Don't bomb anything.
Guess what? None of y'all are doing that because you're too busy posting your garbage on Facebook. Guess what? They know where you are when you're posting on Facebook. Whether you're posting it from your laptop or your phone, they know where you are. They can track that too. They know where you are accessing the internet from. So anyway, you're all a bunch of morons. And
Andrew's on a box right now.
It's just so stupid. And you should all either stop spreading garbage and trying to infect people with your brain worms,
mm-hmm.
or go live out in the woods in Montana away from the rest of society.
How about both? I like both.
Well, I mean, if you move off to the woods in Montana, I guess, well, unless you're doing your whole Ted Kaczynski bombing stuff.
Please don't do that.
Please don't. Though Ted Kaczynski, he had some ideas. No, I'm kidding.
You know, it's really sad because I was watching a thing about Ted Kaczynski. He was not, like, he had a good brain. He had a smart brain. Like, he was a smart guy.
He was smart, but kind of a loser.
Well, there was a lot of different things. He was a part of this psychological experiment when he was a kid because he was so smart. And I think that really messed him up.
He was like a proto-incel in some ways.
What's that mean?
Involuntary celibate. It means he's a loser, can't get girls. And
that also
blames
happened.
girls for that.
That also happened.
I mean, there's
a lot of psycho people that happens.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's not a very nice way to say it, but you know what I mean when I say it.
Right. So that was like part of it too. And he was also like anti-technology. That was like a big deal for him.
Yeah.
Like the most interesting idea he ever brought up was like how cars are evil because, like, imagine if we could invent this thing and we could transport people this far and this fast, but 30,000 people have to die every year or whatever. It's like, that's however many people die in car wrecks.
Oh.
And it's like, oh, that's an interesting idea. But
People died in wagon wrecks.
Yeah, but wagons can't drive at 70 miles per hour slamming into concrete.
That's true.
It's a little different.
You got that right.
Yeah, I just wanted to like talk trash about those people.
It's okay.
Go live on a compound in the middle of like South Dakota or Montana or something, or Wyoming. I don't care if you do that.
I would love to live on a compound with like-minded people. But
okay.
not those people. But not those people. I have heard of cults.
Yeah, have you heard of them?
But I would also like to keep my job, and like be normal and like have technology.
Then you wouldn't be living in a compound. That sounds like an apartment building in the city.
Yeah,
like, what are you talking about?
Exactly. Yes, you nailed it. That's what I want. Yes.
I think they have. Okay.
You nailed it.
Scientology. They have some stuff.
I don't want Scientology.
And hey, you wanted to be an actor, so actress.
I don't want to do.
They can help you out.
I don't want to do Scientology. Don't make me.
I'm not going to make you.
Don't make me.
In fact, I'm going to tell you very much. Do not do it.
Okay.
Don't you do it.
Done.
That's my lesson for the day.
Done.
In fact, this is my lesson every week.
Don't join a cult.
When the subject of joining a cult comes up, the answer is always don't you do it.
And if you're like, is it a cult? Yes. If you're questioning, is this a cult? Run. Just run.
If you go, is this a cult? And they go, no, it's a movement.
Yeah.
Like,
no, we're a group of like-minded individuals. Go ahead and run. Unless it's an apartment building in the city, then it's okay.
Right.
It's
probably fine.
We shun technology and we all live to love one another, and anything about aliens, run.
This anti-technology thing almost makes you sound anti-Amish. And I think we should trash talk the Amish, because what are they going to do? Listen to a podcast? I don't think so.
Got him.
That's right.
Trashing on the Amish.
A burn so sick they never heard it.
We have no opinion about the Amish.
Not really. I like Amish Paradise, the Weird Al song.
What I like is the food they make. They have delicious breads and pastries. There is a Mennonite sweet shop in Little Rock.
What's the difference between a Mennonite and Amish?
They are like, I think it's like Mennonite is like a sect of Amish.
Okay, so like all Mennonites are Amish, but not all Amish are Mennonite?
I believe that is correct.
Right?
Don't hold me to it.
I'm not
sure. But
we're not experts.
No, but I think Mennonites even do like, they do like technology stuff. Because the sweet shop in Little Rock, it's so good. Literally one of the best ones I've been to. I wish I could remember the name of it, but I can't. It's John on John and I's first date. They have the most amazing chocolate pie there, and he brought that on our first date. And I was like, "Where did you get this? This is so good." And he's like, "I brought it from Little Rock. It's from my favorite sweet shop." And I was like, "It's amazing." And I went there the other day and got a cinnamon roll. Like they were all out in the front counter, and I was like, "Oh man, I really want a cinnamon roll." And they had like a row of them back behind the counter, and I was like, "Are those for sale back there?" He was like, "Oh, these are a day old. They're 50% off." He was like, he's like, "No, I'm kind of embarrassed." The guy was kind of socially awkward, but it's almost like he was embarrassed. Like, these are like a day old. They're half off. And I was like, dude, give me 10 of them. And they're as big as your head. They're huge. And they're so good.
I don't know. This almost sounds like one of those like scam artists from a television show where they're like, oh, those cinnamon rolls? Oh, you don't want those cinnamon rolls. I don't know if you could handle those cinnamon rolls.
I do want those cinnamon rolls.
Yeah, it just makes you like, oh, I can handle it. You don't even know me.
No, but he did. He was like, they're 50% off. And I was like, excellent. Give me 12. I want all of them, actually.
I think we talked about this before, and I made the joke that you sound like Tina Fey on 30 Rock when she goes into like the donut shop and she's like, what time do y'all throw out the donuts?
Are they half off then? Okay, I'll take them.
No, just like, I'm going to take them out of this bag in the garbage.
Exactly. That's it was, anyways, it still tasted amazing, even if it was a day old. I don't care. I popped it in the microwave and
yeah, I mean, cinnamon rolls keep pretty well.
Exactly.
Enough.
And I was like, this tastes totally fresh. This is amazing.
Yeah, it's not like French fries, which fall apart after like 5 minutes.
Yes, those are an item that need to be fresh.
Yeah, like if I go to a drive-thru and I'm driving somewhere else, I ain't getting fries because they're going to be disgusting by the time I get home.
Yeah, you need to eat them en route if that's the case.
Yeah. So what you got going on? I guess. Well, we have to do our famous segment.
Oh yeah.
How many Star Wars is Caitlin?
2.
You got it.
Yay.
Bad Batch.
Yep.
There's a pretty big character return in that. If you're a fan of Clone Wars, which you're not, so who cares?
Not. Yeah.
I could be like, it's this person. You go,
cool.
Who?
Yay.
What?
I'm happy for you if you're happy.
What does Tom Hardy have to do with this? That's a joke.
The Terminator?
Somebody will get Tom Hardy. The Terminator?
No, I was just making a joke. Like, does Tom Hardy have something to do with it?
Not actually.
Oh, okay.
It's more of like it's a reference I can't explain. Actually, yeah, I can't explain.
Okay.
I don't want to spoil it for people.
Okay.
They may have gotten it already, and now they've been spoiled. Oh no!
You jerk.
Nobody else cares other than me.
That's true.
At least as far as like who is here and our third listener who is listening, our third member of the show, the listener, still listening to the audiobook for that final Darth Bane trilogy thing. It's called Dynasty of Evil.
You.
Other than that, still working on Breath of the Wild slowly.
Love it.
I did my first, what are they called? Divine Beast.
Yeah.
I did the bird one.
Okay. I like that.
That was really cool. It was like a big shrine, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of. So I'm up to like 13 hearts, I think. So
I don't like
fun.
the water one. The water one's a little tricky.
Yeah. The
my
water.
dog is dreaming.
Oh, wow. It's probably not picking up for other people, so you just have to imagine. Yeah, the water one is one. I'm up to where I can do the sand one and the water one. I'm thinking about doing whichever one, but yeah, that game's real good. Still,
it's so good.
That game that came out and won Game of the Year like constantly everywhere.
So good.
I love the puzzle stuff. This is why.
Yes.
So the puzzle stuff is why I'm like maybe I'll like the old ones because they're more condensed and puzzly. But I'm not sure. The only other one, what was the other one you played? You played the Game Boy one that was remade.
It wasn't Game Boy. Oh,
it was.
Yeah, it was.
It was a remake of a Game Boy game.
It
Link's
was a Skyward
Awakening.
Oh, did not like that one.
Yeah. So
that was very 2D.
Right, because it was a Game Boy game originally.
Oh, okay.
And they remade it to look 3D.
I didn't really like Link's Awakening.
And then I played a little bit of that Avengers game that came out last year.
Oh yeah.
It seems okay so far. It seems like people like the story mode. It's just everything else they don't like. Gotcha. Like the constantly online stuff. Like, let's go do this Destiny type stuff. It's like, this is not...
not here for that.
Yeah, so I've played a little bit of the story, and I quite like it so far. Mm-hmm. It's about Miss Marvel, who is they're making a TV show about her, actually, for Disney+.
Oh, okay.
She's an Inhuman.
That was a show, too.
Yeah, nobody watched that show.
Did not watch it.
It is on Disney+. You could watch it, conceivably.
I might. Which one I watched? I watched...
You watched New Mutants.
New Mutants, that's what it was.
Inhumans was... So originally that was going to be a movie.
Yes.
And then that's like the only Marvel announced movie that has not been made. They ended up changing it to a TV show.
Huh, okay.
Because it was a whole thing with like they didn't have the rights to X-Men.
Yes.
And so Marvel tried to pretend that Inhumans would be, this is just like the X-Men. Because they're like people, they're not mutants, but they're infected with a thing called the Terrigen Mist. And they have powers. They have different powers.
They're mutants.
Yeah. And they even did this in the comics, and everybody was like they didn't, I don't think they canceled their X-Men comics, but they were like, they didn't make them a focus until very recently. Surprisingly, after the Fox acquisition, where they could start making movies, they did a big event called like House of X and all this stuff.
I think I remember that.
Yeah. So the Inhumans is like a whole thing. But yeah, Miss Marvel is an Inhuman. So I'm curious to see how they'll bring that in for the TV show, since they've had Inhumans twice in Marvel TV. They showed up in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show.
Gotcha.
And then...
Didn't watch it.
Yeah, that was like where I jumped off. I was like, all right, this Inhumans stuff is done. And then they had the TV show Inhumans, which was like a different set of Inhumans. But nobody watched it, so who cares?
Gotcha.
But Miss Marvel is an Inhuman. She becomes infected with Terrigen Mist in the Avengers game even. It's a whole thing. But it seems pretty good so far.
Miss Marvel, different from Captain Marvel.
Yes. And there's also been multiple Captain Marvels in the comics.
So confusing.
There was a Captain... And she used to be... In fact, the Captain Marvel we know, Carol Danvers, used to be Miss Marvel. But this is a different Miss Marvel entirely. Her fist turns big when she punches people.
That's so weird.
Yeah, it is. It's very complicated and weird.
That is very weird.
Did you ever watch the X-Men show from the 90s?
No, I don't think so. No.
Well, in the X-Men show in the 90s, Rogue, you know Rogue, who's played by the lady from the Vampire show.
Yeah, she has the white streak.
Yes. So I don't remember in the show, in the X-Men cartoon, her powers, she's able to fly and has super strength as well, like permanently, along with her like power absorption stuff and memory absorption. She got those powers from Ms. Marvel, Carol Danvers' version.
Weird.
Yeah, it is weird. Comics are complicated.
Yeah, they are. I don't like that.
That's why I've been reading like comics that are self-contained instead of like the big superhero ones, because they're too complicated to keep up with sometimes.
I'm reading on Wikipedia and it says Ms. Marvel is the name of several fictional superheroes appearing in comic books published by Marvel Comics. The character was originally conceived as a female counterpart to Captain Marvel.
Yes, there was a Captain Marvel who was a dude.
That's so weird.
To start with. And also, fun fact, Captain Marvel didn't even used to be a Marvel character. Or at least the original person who was Captain Marvel.
This is too much.
You know Shazam?
Yes.
His original name was Captain Marvel.
What the heck?
And he also wasn't even... He's a DC character, but he didn't used to be.
Okay.
It's very confusing. I know.
Hey, look. This even brings up the Carol Danvers things. Like Captain Marvel, most of the bearers of the Ms. Marvel title gain their powers through Kree technology or genetics. Marvel has published 4 ongoing comic series titled Ms. Marvel, with the first 2 starring Carol Danvers and the 3rd and 4th starring Kamala Khan.
Yep, that's who you play to start with in that Avengers game.
Kamala?
Yeah.
Okay.
They pronounce it Kamala, like the wrestler, and not Kamala, like the vice president.
I said Kamala.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm confirming to everybody else that you said it right.
So she has big fists. That's her thing.
Yes.
Cool.
And like you activate like her super, and she turns bigger, like as a person.
So she's Hulk.
Sure. Hulk is like the second character you get.
Oh, who is Sharon Ventura and Carla Sofin?
I don't know.
Okay.
Off the top of my head, I don't know.
They are previous Ms. Marvels.
Yeah. So there's been a lot. In fact, a lot of characters have had like multiple people be them. Green Lantern especially.
Who's Moonstone?
I don't know Moonstone.
It's a super villain.
Okay. Yeah, the Ms. Marvel supervillains aren't like very famous ones, you know?
Okay. She was in the Incredible Hulk.
I mean, Hulk doesn't have super famous villains either. Spider-Man, Batman, and like the X-Men, they have like famous villains.
Yeah, that's true.
Like who Dr. Octopus is, but you know who Lex Luthor is. Yeah. Like with Batman, there's like Joker, Riddler, Scarecrow, Catwoman, Poison Ivy. People know them. But, But like most comic book characters, you don't know their villains very well. Like, what was that lady's? Like, nobody knows who Booster Gold's villains are. Mind Dancer? Who's that? You don't know.
I love that name, though.
Which one? Mind Dancer?
Yes.
Yeah. Booster Gold's pretty good. I wish they'd make a movie or show about him.
Booster Gold.
He's like this douchebag who comes back from the future. He steals like an Iron Man type suit, except it's like, it doesn't look like Iron Man. It looks like a regular superhero suit, but it gives him powers.
Yeah.
And he comes back in time so he can become rich and famous.
What a douchebag.
I know. It's pretty fun, though.
What a douche.
Love it. Booster Gold. Make a movie, you cowards.
I haven't really been doing much. I'm gonna be honest, it was a really bad week last week.
Yeah.
So I honestly didn't have time to come home and really do anything.
Yeah, you didn't even watch Loki.
Nope, and I totally intended to. Actually, though, I will say Wednesday was in the midst of a not good week. Wednesday was like the best day I've had in a long time. Like as the day was progressing, I was like, this is such a good day.
Was it because you did not watch Loki?
It was because I did not work.
Yeah, there you go.
That was my day off. And I mean, John took that day off work too, just for us to have just for him to have a day off, and then I was my scheduled day off. But it was nice. We woke up, kind of slept in, and then went to breakfast, and had a really good breakfast at a local breakfastry. It was good, and then went out to his folks' house, and they have a pool, and it was beautiful weather, and we just swam, and then came home, and then went out to dinner and did some grocery shopping, and it was just a really nice day.
And you broke your foot, apparently?
Yeah, that was really painful. I don't know. Listen, listen, if there's anything involving physical movement or activity, I'm going to get hurt. My body was not made to move.
You gotta stretch. You're too old not to.
I landed on my foot. That's what happened. I
stretch your feetsies out.
I jumped into the pool, and I guess it wasn't as deep as I thought it was, but I just jumped in. I'm glad I didn't dive, but I just jumped in, and then I just like went straight down, and I fully landed my weight on my foot, and like it like turned to the side, and I landed on it. And I came up, and like it was shocking, like the pain was shocking, and I was like trying to remember to like, do not take a breath in, do not gasp, like you are underwater, hold your breath to get to the top. And as soon as I got to the surface, I was like, John, I did something to my foot. I've hurt my foot. I don't know what I did, but I hurt my foot. And I was like, of course I did. That was my first moment into the pool, and I hurt it. But it doesn't matter. It was still a great day.
If you say so.
It was still a good day.
And to clarify, we're not sure your foot is actually broken.
No. It's like, I think
it just hurts.
Yes, it does hurt on the side of it that I landed on. So, it might just be really sprained. I think it's just really sprained. But even besides that, it was a good week. I didn't do anything though. I didn't watch any shows. I didn't read. Oh, but I did start. I think I said this last week. I started the new Throne of Glass book.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
You remember how we talked about no smushy or mushy or whatever?
No mushy, more smushy, I think is what our thing was.
And then the mushy is the what let's define those terms here.
Okay. Mushy is like, I love you so much, and smushy is like, I'm making love to you.
Let's do it. Okay,
yeah,
well,
doing sex stuff.
There was a portion of the book, a good, I would say 15, maybe 20, probably 15 minutes of it that was mushy and smushy, and it was very. Remember how I said I thought this was a young adult series? That is not. It was not a young adult portion of a series. It was very graphic.
That's why you young adults out there need to get some birth control.
Exactly.
So you don't end up having children when you have a 4.0 GPA.
This week's episode brought to you by birth control.
That's right. I wish I could remember what brand that was. It was weird.
It was a weird brand.
It had like a weird name.
Nextly. Something like that.
Nestle.
No, not Nestle.
Nestle chocolate?
It had like 2 X's in it.
It did. It was like, had a PH as well, like Phoenix or something.
It was something weird.
It's not important. They're not paying. They don't get to be advertised on here.
No.
It featured a character called Condom Kate.
Yes, it did. And Andrew Snapchatted it. He's like, "This you?" And I
was like, that's fun.
This you.
It was spelled the same way.
Yeah, CAIT. No, but that part, I was like, I really just want to skip through this part. I was like, I'm not here for this. Show me the magic. I want magic.
Yeah, even in like sex stuff in books is always weird and uncomfortable to me.
And there's an audiobook, and I was like,
even better.
This is so weird. Somebody's reading this to me, and it's and I was like, I don't like it. Even when I'm reading it.
So you're not a big 50 Shades fan?
No, not here for that. I want fantasy and not that kind of fantasy. I want like dwarves and elves and magic and made up universes. So that's what I'm about.
So Lord of the Rings.
Exactly. Harry Potter, wizards. I love wizards too.
I'm trying to think of like fantasy universes where they're not boning all the time. I think Lord of the Rings is one.
Harry Potter.
Narnia.
Yeah, Harry Potter, Narnia.
Yeah. I still think it's weird that Harry named his child partially Severus. Yeah, Severus just bullied him all the time.
Yeah, he's like, named after the 2 greatest men I know. No, Severus was kind of a dick to you.
He was an incel dick.
Yeah.
Like
because he had that one moment at the end does not mean he
wasn't a jerk. He got off on bullying children.
And then your greatest comeback, Harry, was when you said, "You don't have to call me sir." That was amazing. Do you remember that?
No, which one? Which part is that?
It's where Harry answered it. Snape asked Harry a question, and Harry answers it, and then Snape says "sir" because Harry doesn't finish with the sentence with "sir."
Oh.
And then Harry says, "You don't have to call me sir."
That's fun.
And I was like, yeah, that's amazing. Good job, Harry.
Pretty good. Sassy Harry.
Exactly. Sassy Harry.
Yeah. That's so weird. Like, because Severus is not.
No, he was a jerk.
I don't understand people who are like, idolize any of that. Like, I get it. Alan Rickman's awesome.
Idolize Alan Rickman. Yeah.
I get that. But, like, his whole thing is, like, I'm going to bully this child
because he's the offspring of a guy I hated in high school.
Yeah. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
You were bullied in high school. It happens.
Yeah. Get over it, dude. You need therapy.
Don't be a weirdo.
You need wizard therapy.
Yeah, and they could probably like remove all of those memories for you. I think that's probably a thing you can do.
Obliviate.
They can like super roofie you.
Okay. That was weird.
Harry Potter's weird.
No,
there's
it's not.
there's weird implications when you come into like magic stuff. I mean, there's like love spells and stuff, like, or potions, and that's where you're basically like, it's like a super roofie. Like, it's not just they don't remember. It's like they're in love with them.
Yeah. Like
and not of their own will.
Romilda Vane.
That's like a problem. That seems like that should be a bigger issue.
I played a game yesterday.
Tennis?
No. I remember. No physical things for me, remember?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
You played the wheelchair basketball.
No. Although, I'll get to this in a second. Just remember wheelchair basketball.
Okay.
No, it's a game called Betrayal at House on the Hill. Have you ever heard of it?
Is it like a board game?
Uh-huh.
Is it like a werewolf type?
No.
Okay.
I don't know what you mean by that. There's no werewolves in it.
Have you ever played Werewolf or Mafia? Okay. It's like
Mafia.
Mafia and Werewolf are basically the same thing where it's like...
No, it's not like that.
Okay. Where it's not like there's a person who is evil and everybody has to like go, are you evil?
You know who the evil person is.
Okay. So it is different.
Yeah. It starts off with you're all playing, you're all on the same team, and you're in this house and you have to explore areas of the house. You have a basement, ground level, and upper level, and you have to explore those areas, discover new rooms. When you discover a room, there's a chance that there could be an event that happens or an item that you pick up. Each of your characters have certain abilities, and you play according to those abilities. It's kind of complicated, but it's pretty fun. And then after a certain card is drawn or a certain thing happens, then the betrayal happens, and that's when the haunt begins. I
think I've heard of this. I follow a YouTube channel called No Rolls Barred. They do like board game stuff.
Yes.
I think they've talked about this.
Yes. I believe you are correct, because John was talking about somebody talking about it. So, and I think it was the same people.
Yeah, was it British people?
I don't know. I didn't ask.
I only found this channel because they also do wrestling stuff.
Of course they do. But anyways, it's a really fun game. Takes a while. I've played it before. And there's different, each time you play it, it's probably going to be a different scenario. The haunt is going to be a different scenario usually. So you can play it multiple times without having the same haunt.
Does this picture look like a thing?
Yeah, that's it. Yep.
Yeah, I think this is one that they've shown on that channel.
It's fun.
Yeah, that's the thing about like board games seem fun, but also not. Like,
it's very tedious. This one's very tedious. It's a lot of thinking involved. Well, a lot of referencing, like, okay, how much power do I have? How much knowledge do I have?
And strategery.
Once the haunt begins, strategery happens.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like board games, they sound, I think I like the sound of them more than I actually like them.
That sounds about right.
I've never played any like complicated ones like this though. Like I've just played like Monopoly. Yeah. The kind of thing where board game people will be like, screw you can go to hell. We don't like you anymore. Or whatever.
That's what I told John. I was like,
Scrabble? What are you, an idiot?
I told John, I was like, can we just play Monopoly? And he was like, do you want to get in fights with people? And I was like, okay, fine.
Monopoly is the worst board game ever.
It is very aggressive.
Because it just makes you feel bad. And also there's the whole thing of like people get eliminated. So then it's like, all right, well.
It's just me and you.
There's 3 people playing this game and I'm just over here.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Well, so we played that game, and also we talked about, this is interesting. I don't know how we discussed we might start a D&D group, because
that's another thing where I've like role playing. That sounds fun, exactly. But also I don't know if I would actually like it.
Well, none of us have ever done it. It's John's brother and their best friend and his wife, and so we're like, well, we all kind of are intrigued by it. None of us have ever done it, so. John's brother has John got him like a D&D start box type thing. It's like, it has like, it's like beginner's guides and beginner stuff. And anyway, so he was like, all right, everybody go home and think of a character and stuff. And I was like, is this going to be Skyrim? I want to be an elf. I want to be good at sneaking and archery. Boom. Got it. But that's actually not what I want to be. I want to be a druid.
Okay. So yeah, I've never played D&D or anything like that, or any of the RPGs.
Yeah,
at least like the tabletop ones.
Yeah, board game. Man, people get so into it.
Yeah, I mean, it seems fun. I like the episode of Community that you can't watch on Netflix about it.
That's weird.
There's like a weird thing of
copyright stuff.
No, the character of Chang wears makeup to make himself a dark elf. So there was like a lot of stuff, and I was like, this is maybe a little dicey. Let's just not have it on there. I've got the DVDs. I can watch it whenever I want.
Watch it, yeah.
But yeah, there's even a comment from Shirley, who is black, and she's like, we're just going to ignore this hate crime over here. Like, that's a thing that happens in that episode.
Oh.
But that's also
But that's not what he meant by it.
No, because he's a dark elf. It's a very funny episode. It's sad that it isn't on there. Yeah. It's also weird because they reference it later in episodes. And it's like,
what episode are you talking about?
Yeah, you're like, why is Neil referencing that they played Dungeons and Dragons together? What are you talking about?
When they clearly never did.
Exactly. I like the idea. I like the idea of the tabletop RPG. I just don't know if I would actually like it.
Well, and so that's kind of like Betrayal at House on the Hill. You have a character. They have pre-made characters, and you select which one you want. At the beginning of the game, you all select which one you want, and your character can do certain things based on the amount of traits they have. So you have like knowledge, speed, might, and sanity are your traits that they do on the game. And so then like you have to roll a certain amount of dice, per how much might you have. If you only have 4 might, then you roll 4 dice for this certain challenge that you have to do. If you have 7 knowledge, then you can roll 7 dice, and it's things like that. And so it's almost like Betrayal at House is kind of like D&D Junior, almost like introduction. It's a lot of the same concepts, I think, as far as like you have a character that has certain set traits, and those traits can be, you can gain power in those traits or have it detracted. You can roll, you can try to do this challenge and you may win, you may not, based on how much, stuff. And if you win, then you go up in that certain ability or whatever, So, anyways, it's fun. I really liked it, and we all like it. So we're like, well, maybe we'll dabble in D&D.
Yeah, like I said, it always sounds fun. It's one of those things where I think about it. I'm like, would I actually like it, or do I prefer like other people telling me their stories just about it?
Watching it, maybe.
There's like all kinds of like YouTube and podcast shows about where people do their D&D. I watched one. It was AEW wrestlers did one.
Oh gosh.
It's a show called Critical Botch, and my favorite was there's a guy named Orange Cassidy who is like a comedy wrestler essentially. Uh-huh. You would love Orange Cassidy, I think. But he's hilarious. But in the show, there's like a part where he's just like, he comes up with this idea of like, okay, I'm going to sneak up behind somebody and lay on all fours so that somebody can push him over and trip him. It's like, all right, you got to roll for that. They successfully roll it. So they like trip this guy for no reason.
That's amazing.
They're like bullying this shopkeeper or whatever.
That's hilarious.
And there's like a part where he's like, I'm going to like, can I like sneak down and like stab this guy in the throat, but I want to be sneaky about it so nobody realizes I do it, and it's like open market, and like successfully rolls it, and it's like, oh man, this guy just died for no reason. That's weird.
Play it along.
Yeah.
And so you have to have somebody, I think, that's good at, because it's kind of like a free play story.
Yeah.
You have to have somebody that's good at keeping a story going and narrating, and that's the dungeon master, I believe.
People have their big old sheets of graph paper and stuff.
Yeah.
They have an episode of that for Gravity Falls. I forget what their fake Dungeons and Dragons is called. It's like math and more math, or math and dungeons. I forget what it was called.
Is it called Cones of Dunshire?
No, it's not that. I think there was a Kickstarter trying to make a real version of Cones of Dunshire at some point.
Cones of Dunshire reference to Parks and Rec.
Yeah. You forgot one thing. It's all about the cones. And that's how they win Wi-Fi or whatever it was. The board game stuff seems interesting. I like watching that YouTube channel, No Rolls Barred.
Yeah.
I wish I were getting like $1 to mention their name here, but
well,
so like I mentioned Werewolf, they play a game on there once a month at least, because they started this during the pandemic. So they do like a Zoom or stream, whatever you want to call it, version of this game called Blood on the Clock Tower. Mm-hmm. And it's like a super complicated version of Werewolf / Mafia. Mm-hmm. And it's like people have powers and they can learn things about other people and stuff. It's really interesting.
Cool.
It's a lot of like, are you evil?
Yeah.
I'm not evil. Are you?
See, that's the thing about Betrayal is who is evil. You know who the or how whatever
the betrayer is.
Yeah, you know who the betrayer is. The traitor. You know who the traitor is. But once it's like, all right, the haunting has begun. Now this person it tells you how to figure out who the traitor is based on the scenario that's set up. There's a graph and certain things.
Yeah.
Anyways, and so then the traitor has the special booklet that they go off and read number 27, and it's a whole scenario, or scenario 28, and it's a whole different scenario. And they read whatever scenario they're supposed to be reading, and then they have a booklet, and then the heroes are the people that aren't the traitors, and they're all reading another booklet about another scenario. So the traitor has a goal, and the heroes have a goal for this certain haunt. And so you don't know what each other's goals are, but so like, and they're like, you know, the point of the game is the betrayer is trying to, you know, basically get the heroes, you know, in whatever way. So it's fun to try to figure out what their motive, what they're trying to do exactly. And anyway, the scenario we had yesterday, it wasn't a very good one. It wasn't really well laid out. It was kind of confusing. So, but the first one we had was awesome.
That sounds pretty cool. I don't know.
It was cool.
Maybe someday.
Maybe
I'll get into that stuff, or maybe never. Maybe I'll die before then.
You can just watch it. That's cool too.
I'll keep watching it on the YouTube.
There you go.
I'll watch people yelling at each other. Are you evil? Whatever.
That was really loud.
That was. I don't know if that picked up, but stop that. Don't do that. We're not an ASMR channel. We're not going to get banned by Twitch for sharing our OnlyFans.
I'm going to do it.
Don't. Oh, God.
That was just my can. That's it.
Yeah, you say so. Just don't show your cans or we'll get banned from Twitch. That thing we're not on.
Yeah, we're not on Twitch. Thank goodness. Oh, big yawn.
I think that's a sign that you need to take us home.
I do. Guys, thank you so much. Oh, hey, happy Father's Day.
Yeah.
It's Father's Day today.
Not to me, though. I'm not a father.
I'm not a father.
Yeah.
Happy Father's Day to any fathers that listen. Your father
To
listens.
our fathers.
My father
We have fathers.
My father doesn't listen.
Yeah, but, you know.
Your father does.
Cosmically. Send
all the daddies out
thoughts
there.
and prayers.
The dads and the daddies.
Oh, I am a daddy. That's what I've heard.
Oh, new.
Is that true or not? Not for you to know,
it's
listener,
not.
unless you want to.
It's not. But also
How dare you?
Happy early birthday to Andrew. His birthday's this week, so everybody send Andrew birthday wishes.
Don't remind me.
It's this week.
I'm dying.
As we all are. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for stopping by. We appreciate it. This has been Paint the Town Dead. We drop episodes usually every Tuesday if we can. It's been a show.
It's been a little dicey over the past couple months or so.
It has. Medical stuff, family stuff. So sorry.
This one should be out on time though.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah. So thanks for stopping by. You can catch us on Facebook at Paint the Town Dead. You can catch us on Instagram at Paint the Town Dead, all one word. You can catch us on Twitter at PTTDpod. You can catch us on TikTok at PTTDpod, which we haven't posted any TikToks.
I guess I should have put that Zelda thing on TikTok where I was trying to attack travelers because they're always part of the Yiga clan or whatever they're called.
Do that.
That made me so mad. That makes me so mad every time.
Yeah, you're like, you trickster.
I know you're evil.
So we may have Zelda stuff on our TikTok, but that's fine.
Yeah, maybe I should do that. Yeah.
Don't even worry about it. And email us at pttdpod@gmail.com. Please be sure to subscribe on anything you can, rate 5 stars anything you can, like anything you can, share anything you can, comment positively on anything you can. Your interactions help us, and we greatly appreciate us. Oh, we have a YouTube as well. It's PTTD.
Yeah, you can. It's just the podcast, just audio. I know some people like it on YouTube.
Yeah, we don't post videos. It's just the audio. So guys, thanks so much for stopping by. We will see you next week with another episode of Paint the Town Dead. Goodbye.
Bye.